Good morning. So we are down here at Lucca again. Unfortunately, the live weather is raining at the moment, so this is going to make departure a lot more interesting than we've had to deal with in the past. Let's get the live weather information up here for wind. So, winds look to be 12 knots from direction 230, which if 360 is north, it's going to be coming from about that direction if this was a compass. I don't remember what all the rest of this stuff means, but that's going to make takeoff a little interesting. Likewise, I haven't really had to deal with a lot of rain, so I'll have to see if I remember where the wiper controls are. Now, we are going to be flying to Greece as the next part of our journey goes, so we hook a hard right and zip off to the east. We cross over the sea, and we then come down into this funky little approach. So Athens is somewhere up here, and we're going to come in south of it, come around, and then into the main airport. So this should be an interesting approach and landing. Just kind of a funky way to go, but we'll get to see some nice parts of the country of Greece, nation of Greece, whatever. There is a cool volcano here, which would be kind of cool to see, but I didn't see a departure path that really kind of went up that far. Most of them kind of went way out of the way, so this is the direction we're going to be going, and it should make for some pretty fun flying, but I'm not exactly sure how the weather is going to impact my flight, so we will have to see. I think it's going to be a little interesting. So, looks like the rain may be calming down and I see the sun coming out, so we may not have quite as much to contend with on departure. Yeah, so it's no longer raining in here. That's great. Let's get meter out of the way. And there's the wipers, so if I do need them, I can turn them on, but it looks like we're in the clear for the moment, so let's start the power up process and then we'll do the pushback. Now, for the livery on this plane, I chose Eurowings simply because I couldn't find Aegean or any of the other Greek airlines or major carriers in the area. My livery pack, I guess, either doesn't have it or I just couldn't see it in there, so not sure. Either way, I picked Eurowings. I did a quick search just to see that they actually flew into Greece, so I picked them. And they had a couple options in there, and I picked the one that I kind of thought looked the niftiest for what I was doing, and I think I picked a pretty good one. Unique look for this, I believe, German carrier. Okay, so a little bit of a struggle there trying to get my frequency set with the wind blowing the plane. That's why I wish they would fix VR in this thing so I could fly a little easier and actually turn my head around, but oh well. Looks like the rain's calmed down a bit now that I'm getting on the runway, which isn't a bad thing. We have quite a left crosswind on this, so this is going to be an interesting departure. And I am going to need to nerf the auto throttles as soon as they kick on like they just did. Okay, I've got a left crosswind, but I'm having to compensate to the right, which is pretty crappy. Okay, go away, auto throttle. Windsock and actual wind on the plane are not in sync. So, not a lot to see. I've got my landing lights still on just because I know that typically is left on when you're flying through the clouds, give you some extra visibility. Not sure how much it's going to help out here in the bright sunlight of the upper clouds as we fly through. But I am certainly enjoying this look through the clouds. This is definitely a different type of flight. See the wind. This is supposed to be behind me, so I'm getting hit from a hard wind. Otherwise, we're still on track. We're climbing a little bit slowly. I don't think I have a weather screen in here, at least not one that I know how to toggle. I'm going too fast, so the wiper blade's turned off. Wished I'd have turned them off of my own. I don't think it's cold enough outside to really need the de-icing. Oh. So we'll get out of that weather at some point. Most likely we'll climb above it here. And we'll pull the landing lights back into the plane. This is pretty nice. Overall, the takeoff wasn't too bad. I tried to do a little bit more manually. I don't think I would have normally flown that much manually. But I wanted to do the first turn. Ran into a couple issues with the wind, and I was trying to feather my speed, so my nose went up a little too high in a couple of gusts, and then it came down a little too far in a couple of gusts, so not the best, but otherwise the takeoff was pretty smooth. I did pretty well on a lot of the parts of flying that I haven't done before. Interesting that we get some of the light reflecting off of the turbine blades, but we are stuck out here in these clouds for a while, so not much to see. I think once we get to probably 20,000 feet, we should start clearing through the upper portions of them. I need to start learning the 787 a little more so I can get the radar map or bring out some of the Cessna jets again. We're coming over some of it. Getting through parts, which is cool, but anyway, sit back, relax. You can see the volumetric lighting there. Enjoy the ride, and hopefully we'll punch through these clouds and have something to look at. Otherwise, this is going to be a little interesting and kind of dull. Alright, so while I have a moment before I get off on the next taxiway exit, that was a pretty interesting flight. The weather was really not great. We took off in the rain. The rain wasn't too big of a deal, and then once we got out of the rain, things were kind of smooth for a little while, and then once we started coming over Greece and kind of the ocean beforehand, I don't know if you could see it, but the plane was just getting thrown around. The turbulence was just out of this world. That's the kind of turbulence that you would expect to see on YouTube, where passengers are getting thrown out of their seats and baggage is falling out of overhead compartments. That was insane. And then I think partly because of the turbulence, my altimeter was all over the place, so my descent was screwed up. I don't recall the computer telling me, the ATC telling me to change my barometric pressure until I got closer to my actual final approach. Maybe I missed one of those call-outs, just being blown away by the insane turbulence, but that kind of screwed up my approach in two ways. One, I don't know if it happened because of that or if it was just a simple glitch of this playthrough, but I never saw the localizer pop up down here. It only comes up for a second when I turn on the landing system, then it just fades out, so I never really actually realized it was there, so I was delayed in turning on approach, so I had that sharp dip as I got closer to the airport, and I had to use my actual speed brakes and everything to get the plane down onto the ground, closer to the flying area. So interesting way of everything going down. The approach, the plane was landing me early, so I don't know if 2985 was the correct altimeter setting. I don't know. It's what ATC told me. I can scroll back in the logs here in a second and validate it, but it seemed to be landing me too early, so I don't know if I should have touched it at all or not. I really just don't know, but kind of an interesting situation. But anyway, that was kind of a fun flight. Didn't get to see much due to the weather, but hey, it was realistic and real world stuff. Guess this guy really wants me to get up there. Can't really see him. Good enough. Alright, let's start powering everything down. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. The turbulence was nuts. I enjoyed the real world weather. We had to deal with rain and some other fun stuff, which is a little different. But hey, I thought that was quite fun. So, I hope you enjoyed it as well. And we will see you next time.